We have a typical spring forecast this week. Hi, I'm Philip Duncan. Thank you for joining us for our Monday weather video. Gosh, it's Monday already. The weekend, it just goes so fast. The forecast this week, as I say, typically spring-like. We're up and down with temperatures. Let's explain what is going on. We have a colder than average Monday and Tuesday around the eastern side of New Zealand, all up the eastern side of the South Island and as far north as Gisborne and East Cape in the North Island, and that is because of a much colder southerly flow that's coming out of the Southern Ocean and straight on into you. You might even have a nor'easter as you have down here. Still, you had a frost in Dunedin this morning and a cold day on the way as those winds continue. But in the very north, in fact, just around the corner from Gisborne, there is the warmer than average weather coming down out of the subtropics. They meet around about Coromandel on the Bombay Hills. So colder weather coming up to about Waikato, warmer than average weather coming down around Northland, Auckland, and some parts of Coromandel Peninsula for Monday anyway. And actually it doesn't change a great deal for Tuesday. There is that warmer wind flow coming down. It's not overly warm because of the cloud on Tuesday, but it will still be fairly mild in Northland and Auckland. Warm along the western side of the South Island again as well, but that colder weather lingers once more all the way up to about Gisborne, and the rain and the showers continue, patchy though in the southern part of the North Island, while the eastern side down here, Canterbury, Otago, Marlborough, you've got a drier than average week on the way. So that's how your Tuesday looks. By the time we get to Wednesday, that system has moved out to sea, and we do have a cooler southerly flow. So finally now, Auckland and Northland and Coromandel gets the cooler change. It's not going to be very major though, because if you track the origins of the isobars, it's really coming out of Australia actually. It's coming out of Australia and up over New Zealand. Very different to the Monday-Tuesday setup with those southerlies coming out of the Southern Ocean to the east. So while everyone has a bit of a cooler day on Wednesday, it is nothing major. And by Thursday, the windy westerlies, the typical windy westerlies of spring, they are back. You can see the rain comes back to the west coast, the winds pick up, and by the way, that pushes temperatures up in the east later in the week. And by the time we get to Friday, heavy rain slowly moving up the west coast. In fact, there might even be a rain warning issued for that because it's likely to be quite slow moving. Windy weather elsewhere, nor'westers for the North Island, nice and warm for the eastern side. Strong gusty winds might even get to gale force around Cook Strait and the Southern Alps on Friday. And our final map is for Saturday, and I've got to say it's kind of spring-like again. It's still the same. It's a bit messy. There's a colder change moving northwards with dry weather behind it. The North Island's got a very weak front on Saturday, followed by a weak low, which is likely to come up that way on Sunday. So generally speaking, the western side of the North Island and the north of New Zealand are both wetter and warmer this week. The eastern side, especially of the South Island, drier and colder. And by the time we get in towards the weekend, pretty much that same pattern continuing. The South Island still looks a little drier, although there will be some showers here on Saturday in the east. And that low, as I say, coming maybe for the North Island on Sunday, means the North Island's wetter than average run that we seem to be in now does look like it's going to continue. And by the way, that's probably not a bad thing because northern New Zealand does have a rainfall deficit at the moment. We need the rain. So it's good news overall. That's all from me. We'll see you again on Tuesday.